So can someone tell me how to create a database?
Okay, I went to new query, sir. Then
Mhm.
blank page opened there to create a database. I have typed create database and I gave file name.
Mhm.
Then I executed it.
Okay, so in my case, I'll take just training and I click on execute. So it will create a database.
It
Incorrect here.
create spelling mistake.
Okay, so it has been created. So like this, you can create. So just come to the database and right click and read. So now you can see the database training 17. Okay. So let me so when I right click, I'll get an option to delete a database. Okay.
Yes.
You can see that delete. So click on this, it will ask you to delete the database. When you click on OK, so it will delete. So what is the other way to delete this database? So you can drop by using a statement, SQL statement, you can use drop database. Okay, database name. So now if I want to drop a test database, so I'll just drag and drop this test. Otherwise, you can write as usual. So like this test. Okay, so now if you click select and execute this, it will get dropped. Okay, so this is how you can use the drop statement. Okay, so now you know how to create a database and how to drop a database. Okay, so you may ask me, what is delete database? Okay, database name. So you may ask me like whether this will work. It won't work because there is no such statement to delete a database. See, one thing you need to remember, you can drop a database but cannot be deleted. So by using a statement. Okay, so here, if you come here, I can right click and delete. This delete from the right click is equivalent to the drop in the statement. Remember that. Right click and deleting is equivalent to drop in by using statement. So the same thing, you cannot write a delete database name because object cannot be deleted by using a delete statement. Okay, drop can be done because as I told you, delete from here is equal to drop from the statement. By using drop statement gives the same activity what we are doing in the right click. Okay, remember that. So when you are doing something to drop something, so you can drop a table, sorry, database. Okay, drop database. So now you can see the databases has been dropped. So drop test, drop anything, whatever you want, you can drop anything. Okay, so let's say I have something called DWD diagnostics, DWQ. Okay, let me delete the fed. Copy, Control V, execute. Now your command has been successful. So it means your FedDB is going to get deleted. So you may ask like why it is not deleted, still it is showing. So you need to refresh. Okay, so once you refresh, you cannot see the FedDB over here. Okay. Any confusions in this?
So if we want to drop delete, we need to select all, like
What?
a drop database, need to select, and after that we need to click on execute.
No need to select anything. So here, if you want to delete from here, you just need to right click here.
Delete, okay.
Delete. Okay. So it will, once you right click on any one object, then only you will get a right click, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then based on that, you can delete. Okay. If you want to do the same activity from by using query, SQL query, you need to write drop. What you are planning to drop? You are planning to drop a database. So you need to type drop database, database name. Okay, so this is your database name. So just select that statement and execute. So only that statement will get executed. Let's say you have written most of the statements like this. Okay, so now if I execute without selecting anything, if I execute this, everything will get executed. Okay, so everything will get executed. So now if you want to delete individual or if you want to execute any individual statement, you need to select it. So let's say you don't want these statements to be executed. So, and you are not using it now. So then these things should be commented. Okay. Statements commented. Okay. I just typed a message. Commented. Commenting means it will get commented and it won't get executed. So like this. So what I have done, so I just selected this and I went here. Okay. Comment out the selected lines. So what happens? Even though if you click now execute, it won't get executed because it will execute only the statement which is not commented. Got it? So now if I click on this, if I execute button, if I click on the execute button, it will get automatically executed. So what has been dropped? Only Ranjit DB has been dropped. Even if you have the Fed DB, it won't get dropped because it already commented. So what if you want to uncomment these lines? So next to this button, you have one more option called uncomment. So click on this button so you can see the things has been uncommented. So like this, select whatever you want and comment. So it will get commented. Any confusions in this?
Can we delete multiple databases at a time?
See, that is a strange thing which you are trying to do. Okay. So it won't happen in that way. So until unless usually like they won't provide such kind of options because why do you need to delete all the database at one shot? Okay, so in real time, you won't get such kind of scenario to delete all the database in one shot. That is the reason they won't provide you such option to delete everything at one shot. Okay, so
Okay,
if you want to do in that way, so simple. So you need to write multiple statements, drop database. Okay, write like this, multiple lines and delete. So now sample database. Okay, so now you can see this all three statements. So select and execute this. Your statements, all the databases has been executed. So now you go and refresh this. It won't appear in your database set. See, all the databases has been removed, whatever you have selected. Fine. So the one which you asked, that question is valid, but the activity cannot be done because it's a strange activity to delete all the databases from your database folder. Okay, so that cannot be done. Fine. Any other questions?
Yes,
I have
sir.
a question.
Yeah.
I would like to delete training 17. By mistake, I deleted another one. Can I get after the deletion?
So always remember when you are dropping something, okay, so you should be very careful. Multiple times you need to check, but still you made a mistake. Okay, so what I'll do, there will be logs created. Okay, there will be logs created, but you cannot bring that, but your admins can be bring those things. Okay, so restore a database. Okay, so whatever you do, okay, so that will be stored somewhere. Okay, so let me go to database. Cancel. Attach. Okay, now you can see your training 17 is over here, right?
Yeah.
What your training 17 is, training DB, training 17, all these things. Okay, so training 17, just click OK. Is it already there? Oh, it's already there. So that is the reason it is not allowing. So usually what will happen? So you need to take the backups of each of the database every day. Okay, once you delete, so that's it, gone. So you cannot bring those things back until unless you have saved that backup somewhere. Okay, so now I haven't saved my previous databases where I have saved, I mean, in this particular folder. So I'm not able to retrieve those things. So that is what the problem is. Okay, so we should be very careful when you are dropping the data. So you may face a lot of consequences when you do when you did a drop, unfortunately. So they may kick you out of that organization as well, and they put some legal cases on you as well if it is very sensitive and they don't have the backup of it. But nowadays, no worries. Most of the organizations taking backups every day. Okay, every day they'll take the backup and they'll keep it safe. Okay, and there are a lot of technologies in the picture, so where you can maintain the version control every day. They here in the database, they'll take the backup and keep it safe, and every 1 month, whatever the old backups are there, so those will be truncated, I mean those will be removed, and the new latest month's information only it will keep. Something like that they'll maintain. So that is what the maintenance people, DBAs, database administrators, their work is to do all such kind of activities. Okay, to give the securities, to give the even you cannot create the database in your organization. Only database administrator can do that, or operation team. There will be a team called operations. So those operation team members will be doing all these activities. Your work is like to create a table, load the data, retrieve the data, and use the data into Power BI. So that's it. Okay. So there will be a lot of roles. That's what I was telling you. So when you create a SQL server and when you create a SSMS, when you create install SSMS, these tools can be used by multiple roles. Your role is a BI role, business intelligence role. So you do only the data you get. So on top of that data, you will be doing a lot of transformations, writing by using SQL query, transform the data, massage the data, clean the data, and use the data in Power BI. So that is what your role is. Okay. But in most of the cases, nowadays, there will be something like individual contribution or multiple technologies are expecting from the candidate by end user. Okay, so that is the reason. As part of my role, I'll be doing the backend and the front end. So when it comes to the backend, maintaining the database and doing all the transformations and loading the data, transforming the data, and connecting, extracting the data, and using that data in Power BI. So all these activities will be done by a one person. So that I am doing as part of another requirement. My other colleagues also doing the same. So it all depends. But only thing is we share only single database, but different tables. If there is any common tables, we use the same tables and we do transformation on the same table itself. Okay, so you will get to know all these things while doing. Okay, so this is how the process will be in your organization. Fine. Any
Fine.
other?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now you know how to create a database and how to delete the database as well. So dropping and deleting, right? So once you delete, you cannot retrieve it, but you can take the backups multiple times. So how to take a backup of a database? So now before you going to sign off your work, so to make sure to have the backup every day, so what you are going to do is go to the task, right click, go to task, and you have an option called backup. Just click on backup. So now you have the path here to take the backup. So now I'll give so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backup of this. So database, files and groups. Okay. So backup components, how you want to take this backup, which database you want to take the backup, where you want to take the backup. So all these things. So backup type is full. So I'm going to take what difference you have. So not that, what transactions you have logged. So based on that, so all these options can be seen. Okay, copy only backup. So full copy. I want to take the full copy of the backup. Every day, I want to take the full copy and delete the previous copies. So something like that. So now just take the backup. Okay, so now you have the training DB backup option. Just click OK. So backup of the database training DB completed successful. So now you had taken the backup of it. So even though if you delete this, now your database is ready to do. So now let's go and delete training DB. But I already had taken a backup. So let me go and try to attach it. Okay, restore database. So restore it from device. So if I go to device and click on add, you can see training DB backup is available now. So click on OK and click OK. So click OK again. So your database has been restored successful. So now your training DB has been appeared back. So like this, you can take the backups every time. Okay, so don't try to do this for bigger databases. But anyway, your admins will be doing this. But if you try to do it, so it cannot be done because your now this DB is like nothing. It's a zero space. None, it doesn't have any data, and the size of this is very less. Okay, so then that is the reason you are able to restore it within fraction of seconds. But usually what will happen if the size increases, then restoration will get late. I mean, your restore the backup database will take long time to restore it. And also to take the backup, it will take long time. Okay, remember these things. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Drop the database or and delete the database. Both are same also.
Yeah, that's what I already told you, like dropping and deleting, both are same. So here you won't get an option called drop. Here you get an option as delete. Okay. So when writing the query, you cannot write delete. You need to write it as
Drop.
drop. That is the only difference. When you right click on an object, you get an option as delete. When you do the same process by using query, you need to write it as drop database and the database name. So this is the query. Fine.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, before I missed a couple of minutes due to some problem in laptop.
Mhm.
I think you said the process of something. Can you tell again briefly?
No, you can watch the video, no issues. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Sir,
Yes.
if training 17 is database is empty,
Mhm.
no statements is there, so it is easily to delete the database.
Yeah.
Then in lack of statements to can write the training 17 database, then it can how to it can easily to delete the training 17 database.
No, there is no other process you have. So you need to delete it. Okay. So if you got a task to delete the database, that's it. You don't have any problem. Deleting a database won't take much time. Okay. So because it won't check anything, it will immediately delete.
In lack of statements is there in database.
Statements won't be available in database. Remember that. Only data will be available in the database. Statements you will be writing on top of your database.
Okay.
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 Statements won't be available inside the database. You will be writing the statements on top of database to retrieve the data or read the data or read the information what we have stored in that particular database.
Okay. So in database, more data in the storing the database, it can easily how to delete the database.
No, that's what I have shown you now. So how to delete the database. So this is how you just right click and click on delete. It will delete the database. So otherwise you need to write the statement called drop database name. So it will
Drag the database. Drag and drop.
it's up to you like how you are doing it. Okay, you can drag and drop it. Otherwise you need to type the things. Okay.
Sir, after opening the query,
Mm-hmm.
we gave some statements and we want to close that query.
Mm-hmm.
There I got the option to save. What will be saved if we saved that, sir?
Yes. Now let me try to close this. It is asking me to save this, right? Let me save this. Okay, so it might have saved somewhere, but I just need to check like where it has saved. But anyway, so what queries you have? Okay, whatever you had written in that query window, that will be
Those
saved.
statements will be saved.
Yes. So let me try to open the thing. So open. the folder. So I don't know where it has been saved. Let me go to the desktop and check if I have something.
When I closed after I click save, it asked me to give name for that file, sir.
Yes, exactly. So it will ask you to give the name, right? So there itself, you will be having the path as well.
Yes.
So you need to go to that path, and if you double click on that query, I mean the file, it will open the SSMS and it will give you the statements here. Otherwise, you just go to the file and open the file. Okay, so from your folders. So
Okay.
wherever you have that folder, so you need to go there, choose the folder where you have saved that file, and get that file opened in this window.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the process. So let me do the select star from internet sales. So this database should be FactDW. So if I try to save this, yeah, so now it is asking me to save the query. So what I'll do is I'll go to the desktop, okay, and I'll save this as select statement. So it's up to you, like how you are writing. Okay, select statement, and the extension for this file will be .sql. So just save it. Okay, so just go to the desktop, and you can see that data, I mean that query has been saved in this format. Okay, you can double click on this, it will try to open it here. Okay, so let me close this and show you again. Now it is closed. Let me go back to the desktop and double click on this. Now you can see that statement has been opened directly.
Okay.
Okay, so otherwise you just go to file, open, and go to folder, go to the desktop, and you can check what is that, select. So you can see the select statement.sql, select it. This is showing the folder, desktop. Sorry, let me cancel this. File, open. Yeah, you have it here. So here it is, file. So now you go to the desktop, you can see select statement, select that and open it. It will get open here. Okay, so this is how you can save your queries, what you had written, and you can bring those queries what you had written. So now you got to know. So someone asked the question like where these queries are getting saved. It won't save it in your database. It will be saved in your query file. Okay, but there are few things which it will store. I'll show you later how to save the query inside the database. I'll just let you know later. Okay, so only the definitions will be stored. Okay, only the definitions will be stored. What do you mean by definition? So to create a database, okay, so that is a definition. So database has been stored. So to create a table, so there should be some definition behind this that will be stored. The structure of the table can be stored. So as of now, in today's session, like we'll see like what all the different types of statements we have. Okay, so we'll talk about few things which is required for us. So let me take. So different types of commands, and it has been segregated. So we can write a lot of queries, right? So, but we should know that what query we are writing. So people may ask you like what queries you are writing. So I was telling you, right? So SQL has been splitted. I mean, the language has been defined into multiple things. So we'll discuss only few which is required for us. So data, DQL, data query language, DML, data manipulation language, just give me a minute.
Sir, your mic is in mute, sir.
Okay, so we have all the SQL command. In this SQL command, we have DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. So like this, you'll be having all different types of commands which we are going to use it while writing the SQL queries. Okay, so now in this, we have DQL. So DQL always what it do? So it will select the data, whatever the data you have it in your database. So this is just a representation of database. So in this database, you will create multiple objects. So one of the object is tables. So table. So from this table, you will be having some data. Data is nothing but your information which you are storing it, right? Information. So to retrieve this information, you use this select statement. you use this select statement. So for example, if I have some table, so if I want to see what data you have it in that table, so then I use select star from that table name. So then immediately I'll get the data as the output in the rows and columns manner. So for that purpose, we use this select statement. Okay, so this you nothing but data query language. Okay, so this SQL language, data structured query language has been splitted into data query language. Okay, any confusions in this? Okay, so the next thing is DDL. So data definition language. I was telling you, right? There will be definition for it. Okay, so data definition language. Okay, data definition language. So this data definition language has create. So now when we are trying to create a database, right? So what we had written create database name, right? Database name. So this create statement comes under your data definition language. It's a definition to create a definition. Okay, so you use this particular command. Okay, so create command will be used for your creating a definition. So create database name. So like this, to create a table, any object. Okay, so that uses the create statement. So creating anything in the database uses this data definition language, comes under your data definition language. And also you can see that we have something called drop. You are going to drop the table, so that also comes under definition. So when you are dropping a table, you are dropping the definition, right? Drop database name, right? So this drop comes under your DDL, data definition language, because you are dropping the definition. You are dropping the definition of the database, right? So that is the reason you are using this drop statement. So data definition language. Okay, so now you have the other one is alter. So now let's say you want to alter something. So let's say I have created a table with column 1, column 2, column 3, column 1, column 2, column 3. So now you want to alter something, like whether you want to change the name of the column or the data type of the column. I'll let you know what is data type, but don't worry. So if you want to add one more column here, so then the definition is getting changed. So initially the definition was defined for these 3 columns, right? So now the column 4 you are trying to add. So then you are trying to alter the table. So then this alter statement comes into picture. So then this comes under data definition language. Okay, so you are going to alter the table. So then you use this alter statement. Then that alter statement comes under your data definition language. Fine. So the same way, truncate, what it will do is it will truncate the whole information. It deletes the information. So this, all the statements will be used in different levels. Okay, so drop can be done only for databases, okay, and other objects. Each object can be having, each statement can be having each different object level activities. Now alter can be done only in the table level, also in the database level, also can be used to change something, which is just altering the objects, nothing else. Drop can be done, cannot be dropped all the things every time. Okay, drop table name, drop the database name. Objects can be dropped. Okay, objects can be altered. Okay, objects can be created. Objects data can be truncated. So let's say I have some values in this columns in a table. So if I want to delete the whole information what is there in this data table, so then I use truncate statement. Truncate a table. What I want to truncate? I want to truncate the data what is there in that table. So truncate table name. So this truncate statement removes the whole information what you have it in the table. So that information will be erased by using this truncate statement. So these are the things which we are going to use it by using DDL. Okay, clear till here? Any confusions?
Sir, if we drop, if we use the statement drop, total table will be deleted.
Yes.
If we truncate the same table, only the information in the table, data in the table will be deleted.
Exactly. Very good.
Empty table will remain there.
Yes. So it means, let's say column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay. So when I say truncate table, this information will be deleted, but still the columns are remain same. So what is this columns and all? These are definitions, right? Definition of the table. So your definition is still remains same. That nothing but your structure of the table remains same. Remains same. And the values will be deleted by using truncate. Any other questions?
No,
So now you know how to retrieve the data by using select and DDL. So what all these things can be done by using SQL, right? So now we'll come back to DML. So DML is nothing but your data manipulation. Okay, you are going to do some manipulation. So that language is your data manipulation. So what happens here is insert. So your definition is ready. So table definition is ready. So with C1, column 1, column 2, column 3. So then you don't have the values in this. You have the columns created. That means your definition is ready. Structure has been created with that definition, right? So now you start pulling the records into this. To pull the records into the structure, you need to do insertion. So that insertion is nothing but insert. So let's say column 1 has X value, Y value, Z value. So this value should be inserted. So by using insert statement, okay, insert statements are the commands, you can insert the values into the table. So let's say Raj, okay, Funny, okay, Kumar. So like this, you can insert the values into respective columns. Okay, so that is what the inserting. So if you want to insert some data into the table, then you can use this insert statement, okay, to insert the data into table. Okay, any confusion here?
No.
no, sir.
So the next thing is update. So let's say I want to, anyway, I have the column 1, column 2, column 3 are there, and there are some columns X, Y, Z. Okay, so A, B, C, something like this. I have the columns available and I have the rows also available. So now instead of A, I want to update this as D. Okay, I want to update this as D. So what I'm doing now, I'm manipulating the thing. Okay, manipulating the existing value. Instead of A, I am manipulating it to D. Okay, so then, so let's say my name is Rajendra. Okay, so it was written as Raja initially. Okay, now I want to change this value Raja to Rajendra again. Okay, then I need to manipulate this Raja, right? Then only I can do this as Rajendra. So for that purpose, I'm going to use an statement called update. By using this update command, I can manipulate the data, what is there in this particular column that can be manipulated, or what is there in this row can be manipulated. Okay, so by using update. So let's say I want to delete something. Okay, so wherever I see there is a values with the D, then I want to delete that whole row. So how this happens? So I have multiple rows here. So what I'm doing? So I'm doing the manipulation for this data by deleting. So instead of multiple rows, I'll delete these rows. I'll keep only these rows. So for that, I want to use a statement called delete. Okay. So by using delete, you can remove the rows which is required for you. Okay, which is not valid. As per the requirement, you can delete those rows as well. Okay. So this is where the manipulation will happen. Okay, so data manipulation language. Okay. So these are the two things which we don't use it frequently, but these are data committing language, and TCL is also a transaction commit language. Okay, so if you write some statement, so if you want to give some access to your database, role based, so you need to grant something. So grant level, so which is most of the time like revoking, granting the access, revoking the access. So all these things happens by using DCL. Okay, so this is not much to discuss about this. So something we can give an access, grant user. Okay, username. Okay, so a user, if they want to get access, so you can use the grant. Revoke access, you can revoke the access for something. Okay, then you can use a revoke statement. Okay, so most of the time these statements will be used by your admins. Okay, so your admins. So this statements will be part of your transact SQL. So if you want to commit something as part of your statements, you will be having multiple lines. Okay, so based on your logic, if that logic satisfies, then commit the statement. Okay, so if doesn't satisfy, then roll back this. Whatever you have done till now, then roll back everything. Okay, if everything is done, save it to that particular point. Okay, so like this, you are going to use this commands as part of your query. Okay, so inside your query itself, you are going to use this particular commands. Then these things will be part of your query, and this will be get executed one by one. Commit it if that satisfies. If not satisfied, roll back it. If everything is good, save it. Okay, something like that. So all these things are part of your query execution. Cool. Any confusions here? So as part of our training, so we are going to use DDL, DML, and DQL. So these are very important, which you should know as a BI developer. Okay, and also we'll see examples on rollback and commit as well. Okay.
Okay.
Fine. So with this, all the statements with the different options, logics, concepts, okay, we can cover SQL till 70% of the SQL. Okay, so 100% cannot be finished by any time because it's very difficult. SQL is very big Every time you get a new scenario, you'll be writing a new function, and whenever a new release happens, there will be new feature will be added to the SQL server. So all these things cannot be learned in one shot. Okay, so even every time as a developer, I need to upgrade myself by learning new things. So that should be part of your learning. Okay, see, it's not like you learn something and it is done. Okay, so from the training sessions, you need to upgrade yourself every time by learning new things. So then only it will be fulfilled. Okay, so fine. So we'll see how to do this: create, drop, alter, and truncate in tomorrow's class. Okay, so today we have seen how to restore the database, how to take the backup of the database, and what all the different types of commands in SQL that also we have seen. Okay, a brief discussion, theoretical knowledge of these things. So in tomorrow's practical class, like we'll see how to create a table, how to create a database, and how to alter the database, alter the tables, and truncate the table. Okay, all these things. Okay, so when you guys are not talking, so please be on mute. So don't do any kind of sounds or something, because this is going to get uploaded to YouTube. Okay. Okay, thanks for joining. So tomorrow we'll connect